My name's Chris Harrell, and this is my first project. This is a manually driven profile plasma cutting machine made with a Pilot Arc plasma cutter purchased from China via eBay. I changed the torch from a right angled torch to a straight one. As you can see, the right angled one sits on the table. I'm coming forward now with this camera and I'll come on to the adjustment. This adjustment is taken, as you can see behind it, actually there's a workmate sitting behind it, and you can see the red handles of the clamping mechanism. Well, it's one of these old machines that was broken that I've taken the mechanism off by just turning this handle. This actually moves the torch up and down. I've used linear rails and bearings. Firstly, I tried to just have two at the sides and one going across, but it used to bind and stop. So I changed it to 2 rails, but I've gone from 20 at the sides to the cross bears to being 16. This is to enable the hole centres on the bearings here. I'll try and put my hand there and there. They align to 16mm carriers, which made life a lot easier, but quite expensive. I think in hindsight I could have done this job using draw runners with ball bearings, the extra long type, and maybe welded them together to make longer parts, and it would still have been cheaper. I think bearings and rails cost me about £150. As you can see on the opposite end from the torch, there's the torch, there's the far end, I added a weight because there was a lot of shaking and bouncing up and down. So that weight's there. I can change it because it's just a bolt screwed into a nut welded on the end. The actual tracer for where I would trace the older item that I want to copy is just a piece of threaded rod with 2 nuts welded to the rod there. A piece of plastic 2-part glue to create a thumb screw. I removed the trigger from the torch and moved it along to here. That enables me to have a better control of the mechanism. You'll see there how it's working. I also needed to suspend the cable to relieve the weight of the torch head, and that was a matter of balancing it approximately in the middle of the grid where it was going to be cut. At the moment the whole machine rests on 2 trestles, but they can easily be removed so that if you had an 8x4 plate to cut, it could be taken out and put on the ground directly on top of the plate, remove the grid and lower the cutting head, and then an 8x4 sheet could be cut into without any problem. Here's how the Pilot Arc works. If I can get into reach, if I press the torch, there it is, and whatever plate is there, it will stop it. Release the nozzle, it goes out. Simplicity in itself. As to the sorry about that, had to switch off the compressor and the plasma cutter, making too much noise. Anyway, now you should be able to hear me again. As for the table for copying on, I would screw whatever I'm copying down. If you couldn't put a hole on it, you would have to hold it with one hand and trace around it with the other. I'm sure somebody might have a better idea than that, and it'll be interesting to hear. Other than giving the actual practical demonstration, that's it for now. Oh, it's not it. I'd forgotten. You can also use this to cut straight lines, vertically or horizontally, just by means of putting rubber clamps or plastic clamps either side of the linear bearings to stop one set of the bearings from moving. So you position the clamps wherever you want to make your cut, and then there's never any need for any guide wheels or straight bars to follow. It's far easier to make the cut. I'll also demonstrate that.